I'm Laura Wilson. I am an engineer out at the Glenn Research Center Lewis Field in Cleveland, and I'm going to give a use example. So this is managing our Glenn Research Center, the Analytical Sciences group, using the wiki that we had developed with Rich and Lexi. So just a little bit about the Analytical Sciences group. We consist of 5 labs. So we do materials characterization. So we have a chemistry lab, non-destructive evaluation, electron optics, there's a lot of electron microscopes, X-ray diffraction, and metallography and optical microscopy, and just some numbers by that on the side. So we are a user lab, as well as we have some dedicated staff engineers who use the equipment. So this results in, this is just a 1-year example. So we had 2,000 plus requests. So this is users saying, hey, I want to use the equipment to collect some data. There were over 2,000 of those that come in just in 2004. And because we provide these services, it's a billing thing. So this touched 74 different billing accounts to have these requests and collect this data. And among those 5 labs, it's 35 systems, so 35 different pieces of equipment that need to be managed we have 75 plus users, and then those 8 regular staff engineers, like I mentioned. And we're doing research in a huge variety of materials. This is just kind of a big overview of metals, ceramics, 3D printed, composites, geologic materials. So a huge variety of requests, of data that needs to be generated, of systems that they're generated on by users and the billing. And so we needed a way to make sense of all of this. So this tool that we kind of decided we needed these 4 main functions to this tool. We needed to be able to request services and schedule these services, use of the equipment. We needed to be able to track both the funding and the billing that's going through, and then be able to manage this large user base that we have and assign qualified operators, and then also with all of our systems and equipment, being able to modify those, add new, change features, that sort of thing. So we had been using this SQL database system, and we've been, I guess it was established around 2007. And it was really nicely, it allowed users to schedule equipment, and it also allowed the lab lead to manage that user list and qualified operators list, and that is kind of where the compliments for the system stop. It was supposed to help us with tracking the reporting and the billing and the usage, and it was, well, I think it was mentioned earlier, one of those things where you ask for something and then they kind of say, oh yeah, sure, we're working on it, and then they don't really, and it got to be a really expensive, inconsistent support. The system wasn't working for us, it was complicated, so we needed something different. So some of the other researchers in my area over at Lewis Field, they had reached out to Rich and have a wiki-based system for it's a materials and process group. So they introduced me to Rich, and we got the ball rolling with setting up an ASG, the Analytical Sciences Group wiki, to help with everything. So we've been working with Rich and Lexi since about June of 2023, and we finally launched this in October of 2024, which was really, really exciting. And so as far as solving the 4 main problems that we needed, so we have, these are blurry screenshots because there's data on them. But as you can see, this is an example. We have a nice scheduling calendar so we can see who is scheduling. And this is one of the things, we've heard from some of the other labs they're big, huge laboratory facilities. I am scheduling an electron microscope for an hour-and-a-half time slot. So it's a different use scale, but it's really effective for what we're wanting it. So we have the scheduling, and users can see what equipment is scheduled when, and then they can make those requests and schedule the time that they need. We also have been working on our billing reporting. So this is just kind of a little picture we have based on each account, the number of hours that were booked, and the users. So all of that data is accounted for, and then we can send bills and say, hey, you used our stuff, now you owe us money. And then as far as managing the users and managing the systems, it's proved to be a really customizable system, which is great. So we can edit the qualified operators list for the different pieces of equipment. We can edit the features, the managers on different pieces of equipment. We can, if we are having maintenance, we can remove it from the list of things available to book. So this has really proven something that is really useful and ticking all those 4 boxes for a big tool that we needed with this. Some of the challenges is training users, something that we have had for a long time, and then say, hey, this is something new that you have to use. So that has been a challenge, but it's going over all right. We put a lot of effort into the billing report and getting that just the way that we want it. We're also working on tailoring the different services to the different labs. So, you know, if you put in a request to, say, the chemistry lab, you're going to want some different information than if you want a sample polished or cut in half. So tailoring some of that. But overall, me, one of the engineers, we're satisfied. Our users are overall very satisfied. And like I had said, the materials and processing group, they already use the wiki. They've had that established. And actually, some of the other laboratories have been seeing how well it's working and want to integrate that into their lab as well. So there.